Hello and welcome to ThePrint. Today I shall be speaking to you about the primacy of land warfare. In his book Sapiens, Yuval Noah Harari asserts that humans did not tame land. Rather, it is the land that tamed and domesticated humankind. Once crops were sown, a community could no longer follow a nomadic lifestyle. It had to stay put, not only to grow and harvest the crop, but also to protect it from marauding animals and rival tribes. Over the centuries, with more and more investments made in land, from huts to high rises, roads to railways, farms to factories, land has become the centerpiece of all human endeavor. Once these communities developed a sense of identity and control over a geographical space, it also became necessary to defend not only the land but also one's identity as a tribe, kingdom, or nation. Thus were sown the seeds of conflict which persist to this day. This attachment to land has become so deep-rooted that every inch of it is contested, whether the dispute is between farmers or nations. More than 60% of domestic litigation revolves around land issues. And at any given point in time, there are more than a dozen ongoing armed conflicts between nations over control of land. It is not surprising, therefore, that India's wars have all revolved over the possession of various tracts of land. These disputes over land with Pakistan and China are still unresolved and will remain the underlying factor for any future conflict. Possession or having physical presence, often referred to as boots on the ground, will always remain the first and possibly only feature of ownership. Every soldier is needed to protect land. Armed forces are charged first and foremost to secure the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the nation. How they go about discharging their roles will be different. However, the outcome of all their efforts, whether individual or collective, will fundamentally always be about owning the land. G.K. Cunningham of the US Army War College, citing historian T.R. Fehrenbach's book, This Kind of War, the classic Korean War history, notes that land is the persistent place where humans become civilized and preserve the fullness of their humanity. He quotes, "You may fly over a land forever. You may bomb it, atomize it, pulverize it, and wipe it clean of life. But if you desire to protect it and keep it for civilization, you must do this on the ground by putting your young men into the mud." Cunningham wrote this for the US Army War College, responding to a question on what will be the critical or decisive domain of war fighting and why. India would do well to remember this, that we will have to put our young soldiers, our Agniveers, not only in the mud but also in the snow and sand if we have to secure our territorial integrity. The ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine, already in its second year and showing no signs of ending, only reinforces this fact. This war, being fought over a front of more than 2,500 kilometers with an active front line of over 1,000 kilometers, has degenerated into battles reminiscent of the two world wars. Gains are being measured in mere hundreds of meters, achieved at great human cost. It has also brought to the fore that the nature of war has not changed fundamentally in spite of the much vaunted advances in the technological domain, collectively termed as the Revolution in Military Affairs, or RMA. At the end of the day, all these new technologies have only one purpose, and that is to support and enhance survivability of soldiers in the field, whose sole aim, in turn, is to hold ground, whether it is some corner of a foreign field or a barren piece of land where not even a blade of grass grows. Nothing much seems to have changed from the Korean War of the 20th century to the war in Ukraine of the 21st century. Invest in and modernize land forces. That being the case, India must invest much more in its land forces. There would always be competing forces at play, especially in the face of budgetary constraints. Each of the three services, the Army, Navy and Air Force, have their unique and important roles to discharge. Yet, there is no getting away from the reality that victory will be measured in terms of land gained or lost. The skirmishes in eastern Ladakh in May and August of 2020 or the face-off in Yangtze in December 2022 also only underscores the importance of being able to seize and hold ground. It is a soldier on the ground who has to be made into a weapon system capable of dealing with myriad threats ranging from grey zone to sub-conventional warfare and conventional to nuclear, biological and chemical warfare. This is no easy task given the diversity of the terrain along our borders with Pakistan and China. Modernization of the Navy and Air Force, which are more platform-centric and operate in only one medium, is relatively easy. The numbers required are comparatively less, but the unit costs are high, necessitating large initial investments and cumulative liabilities. The acquisition of 36 Rafale aircraft cost approximately 59,000 crores, while a single aircraft carrier without its complement of aircraft reportedly costs about rupees 23,000 crore. The modernization of the army, on the other hand, is more soldier-centric and has to cater for a whole range of equipment for the different arms and services. Each of these should be capable of operating at extreme ends of the terrain and temperature spectrum, from deserts at plus 40 degrees Celsius to snow-clad high-altitude areas at minus 40 degrees Celsius. The unit cost of the equipment may be low, but the numbers required may even be in the thousands. To elucidate, there is a need for a medium tank for the deserts and plains capable of operating at plus 40 degrees, and at the same time for a light tank for the mountains capable of operating at the other end of the temperature spectrum. Modernization of the artillery would need over 2,000 guns, with a price tag varying between rupees 10 to 15 crore each. This envisages an outlay of anything between 20,000 to 30,000 crore rupees, which is about as much as for a single aircraft carrier. Unfortunately, these non-glamorous operational urgent requirements do not have the same star power and public appeal, and hence tend to be put on the back burner. The outcome of future wars, like the ones in the past, will be measured in terms of square kilometers lost or gained. If the balance sheet has to be in India's favor, then the preeminence of land warfare will have to be acknowledged and modernization of the land forces prioritized. Only then will we be able to achieve the vision of an Akhand Bharat. This is General Naravane for ThePrint.